Welcome back. There's the magic. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good 2-0 Open Division team dominating over the HGC team. Yes, it is not a dream. It happened in day 1. It's continuing in day 2 Rapid. And we may actually have another 0-4, 4-0 incoming.
It's the Crucible magic, G-Clef. I don't know what we're watching. I watched yesterday's games, and each game I was like, okay, well, either team maybe kind of could win, and then one team 4-0s. But tonight, man, I mean, ReZero just looks like on another level than Raven.
They are insane. I'm already pretty excited for... No, let's not get
for casting with me.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
You're pretty excited
of
for.
Course.
Sort of everybody else is excited for it, too. I am... yeah, a little bit new to this. I've made it through my first 2 games.
That's right.
You Heroes of the Storm ever.
Sky Temple and Infernal Shrines. And game 3, the map, I will tell you guys. So that you guys, those of viewers who cannot read Korean on the top of the screen, maybe it's about time, but...
Also, the viewers who, like me, have no idea what the map is going to be about, need to have a little bit of time to prepare. You need to teach me what's going on our next map.
I'll give you a hint. Nazebo.
Okay, that's not a hint. I mean, I know the hero.
That's a big hint, and I'm pretty sure everyone except for Rapid picked
now
up.
Everyone
except for Rapid picked up on the next battleground that we're going to head into. Raven is keeping their serious momentum, and they're first picking now, not the battleground, of course. See, everyone knows. Except you.
Oh, okay, Tomb. There we go. I got it eventually.
Oh, seems like we're ready to jump into game number 3, draft. Let's go in.
Sick. All right. Well, you are correct, G-Clef. You have identified the map, and it is going to be Tomb coming up as our 3rd map. But this is Raven coming in down 0-2, so they certainly have a lot. And what's that first band there, G?
Oh boy, adaptation is what that first band is.
It's as if
is it a medic? What was it called? LT.MO or something?
Lieutenant Mo. There
I can
we
spell,
go.
guys. I can't do math though.
Well, they have successfully banned out Lieutenant Mo, and you're not going to see any more of that, probably for the whole series, although there may not be a whole lot more games left in that. So what is the adaptation here from ReZero? What do they not want to see? Because it seems like they've been able to handle pretty much everything.
Okay, they had to choose between Ariel and Brightwing. It seems like banning Ariel over Brightwing is an okay choice. Let's see how... Okay, they will choose Brightwing. They will pick Brightwing first pick in for the meta it fits, but I don't quite know up to date how well they are practiced with Brightwing.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just when you see that one hero is just super strong, it's like, oh, we should just pick that first. It's like, that's not quite how it works.
Okay, Sonya Tastar already picking up their... Oh, it seems like this one's not going to be hyper carry. They actually want to control the dominant over the lanes here, as Sonya has already picked up first. And Tassadar, maybe we'll see possibly a Tracer coming out. ReZero did play, I believe, once in a long time ago in Open Division, and this was the same battleground that they played, if I remember correctly, a while back. And seeing Tassadar, I think there is a slight chance. Let's see how they want to approach Raven. They are probably thinking, is ReZero thinking about their original Vala or even Tracer? Because they also played, as I mentioned, they did play on this battleground, which is Tomb of the Spider Queen, of course. For those of you guys joining a little bit late, they already have Brightwing. This is not the map you go for the global. You do go for the global, it does work. It does work, but a lot less compared to the other battlegrounds. And the wave clear is a huge factor here. So, and controlling over the rotations like ETC will be highly contested, but seems like they just want to keep their Garrosh and still away Greymane this time.
I mean, I agree Greymane worked pretty well on that last game. And now it's without the Morales to combo with that. So what are the supports that you're going to add in as Raven? Because now it's, you know, we've handed over the reins to ReZero.
Oh, let's see. Brightwing and Tomb can work against the dive, and ReZero still has lots of other tools. Like, they can bring their own Sonya and possibly even Genji. But for this map, it will be lacking wave clear somewhat. Maybe they're considering about another Johanna or Leoric. Oh, never mind. Sonya will be the solo laner, so a lot less chance for Leoric to happen. But the second ban, they're considering about maybe banning a support here seems like an okay choice. Maybe just ban Uther out if you're not going to use it. One of the support that you're not going to use because you will have the rotation right after for the picks.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen ReZero go for double support. Now they're definitely doing things differently, and they're exactly what you were saying, G-Clef.
I'm so smart. No.
You're so smart. If you weren't so smart, then this would be absolutely terrible. I'm like the buffer between the audience and having to watch G-Clef solo cast, but now I get to augment you and make you look even smarter by confirming that exactly what you said is coming. It's transpiring before our eyes.
All right, thank you, Rapid, and I'm sorry for all the toxicity.
All the mean comments. Somebody out there is like trying to.
I'll buy you a Mac. I'll buy you some Mac chicken after though.
Oh my God,
that's
you know the way to my heart. Either that or a Mega Mac.
Oh,
that's the way to go.
Yes.
My favorite part about Korea, alongside Heroes, of course.
Well, Snipe Band coming out, 3 out of 3 here for Tyrio against the tank player from ReZero here, but this is quite okay. I know they're very worried about Tyrio because once ReZero has a sanctification, they actually feel like close to Tempest level when they have Tyrio. They make the perfect engage, have a sanctification.
Praise.
That is high praise, yes. But their teamfight level is pretty high, and they were very dominant in the open division playoff with those Tyrios. So I like these bans, but maybe we need some adaptation a little bit more because that Johanna pick was almost guaranteed, as we saw before.
Joanna Stukov. So going to go ahead and lock those in. Last 2 picks here coming in for Raven. They've got a few seconds left. And so you were so good at predicting what the bans could be, G-Clef. What do you think Raven is going to round out their composition with now that maybe their supports have been a little bit limited for this gray main?
Well, great. Well, if you know Raven things,
yeah.
It's one of the things I cannot predict from HGC. Even solo support Karazim, I had no idea it was coming.
Anything
they may
can
just
happen.
have solo support right wing and blink heal or something. Blink heal was actually buffed in a way. If I remember correctly, maybe I think the cooldown went down for a few seconds. So maybe they'll just have solo support right wing with blink heals. Because we don't see too much dive from the other side. Never mind, we do have Lucio and a pretty good solo laner against Sonya. We are going to have Martheo.
Yeah, really cool to see the Malthael. It was banned in the previous game, so it's left up here, and that will be their last choice. But is this enough support? I mean, this is not going to be the same Morales Greymane combo that we just saw go completely crazy in game 2. So it's going to look a lot different.
It is. It's true. And Lucio just providing, I think that timing on the sound barrier will be crucial as usual because they do not have any burst healing at the moment. Brightwing does not have any healing skill other than the blink heal. It's her trait that heals AoE around her, and Lucio does not give burst heal, I guess, over time somewhat, but it's very limited to how much heal he can do on the Grey main. But keeping Garrosh alive seems like a pretty good idea on that. Cassia even picked up as their ranged carry here along with Sonya. I think they already have a pretty balanced comp. I think it all comes to the timing and the teamwork between these two teams. The two teams are ready to jump into game number 3. This is Tomb of the Spider Queens, and right now ReZero leading 2-0. Let's get into the Nexus. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tomb of the Spider Queen with cool Korean spooky announcer. Sorry, guys. I had to do it.
Hey, you can learn how to count down in Korean if
Yeah.
you're paying attention. or if you just watch a lot of Koreans Hero.
Or if you're a K-pop, K-drama fan, you will also pick up lots of Koreans in that way.
Or just move to Korea like I did. And it's a fantastic way to pick up some Korean.
That's right. If you get any chances, you can also check out lots of esports on site. That's also possible.
That's right. We even have an audience here.
Yeah, live audience down there. We can actually hear them screaming from downstairs. It's insane. We don't have like 5,000 people, but still. There's a toss already, but the shield came in and Relic taking some damage, but the blind and the silence is coming in so handy. We already see a great teamwork coming out from this team, and even when Relic every single time seems like when he's in trouble, the entire team goes for him. Like, oh my gosh, we have to save him. There's no way that we're gonna let our ally die. It's nicely done from the beginning. Of course, with Cassia straight, takes a lot less damage too.
It looks like things have kind of calmed down here. You have that initial slap fight early on. It's like, I can deal more damage to you than you can. It doesn't really matter in the end. Unless you die, I always feel bad because that's usually me early on. But things are kind of stabilizing. But where are we going to find each one of our heroes to start the game?
Let's see. Marteo and Sonya actually went bottom. So there will be crazy rotations coming out from both sides, trying to harass. And in terms of wave clear, I think ReZero is winning at the moment. Sonya's already onto the wall when Marteo's taking a little bit longer of a time to clear these waves. So Lucio went to the bottom to deal with Sonya. I don't know if that's the best reaction against what ReZero have right now. Seems like Raven's already panicking with the laning phase here. Well, much less of a laning phase on this map, of course. Nice toss, and the poly connects. The damage is done, but Seron does survive at the... Okay, NMX takes tons of damage. He had to walk out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah, that was actually really scary with Seron getting tossed all the way in the back, but able to walk out. That's going to be a theme that we see basically every game, is ReZero having players drop very low and then magically being able to make it out, but that is consistently true. They're going to stay alive, but I like what you said earlier. It already seems like Raven may look a little bit lost. I mean, they're the first one to turn in, but it is, you know, it's not over just yet. There's another great toss on Seron.
Here comes the blind, and the silence is even greater than the toss. And Grayman is the one to blow up, and they did make the lane swap onto Marteo. Marteo actually went down now to contest against Sonya, but they lost a member. They will be behind in the macro because of these. And sometimes if you're playing on this map against the Garrosh, you do need to be careful of all the ground breaker, the toss. It's insane. You may actually get tossed over the wall if you don't be careful in that way. But seems like ReZero has all the tools. There's a blind, there's a silence, double blind actually. So Raven cannot do too much with all those auto attacks.
That's right. They could be a scientific test if they wanted to. Double blind, a great way to handle those.
Sonya just dominating as she's holding 20, but Young will just stop her from turning it in. They already have a lead, and they don't have enough though. Raven actually has enough, but in any moment now, ReZero will also have enough. Seems like he will actually let this go.
Oh wow, that's really surprising. That is going to certainly flip things around, and now it's actually ReZero poised to take the advantage.
Okay, a little bit surprising on that decision, because Darvish was coming, but he was nowhere close. I know Lucio, of course, is a great way of harassing all those channeling, but Darvish was way too late on that. Okay, turning 20, DeYoung will actually move up and have his own here, but 24-40. ReZero is closer, but in terms of wave clear, they were winning before, but this seems like so much of a better matchup in all lanes for Raven, having Marteo down there, having Brightwing up there, just can phase shift anytime into the team fight against... Well, at the beginning, I was wondering why Lucio was going down against Sonya. That was just not the best way.
It's pretty confusing. We'll figure it out eventually.
We'll figure it out. And maybe we'll ask Raven right after.
It'll be a great interview question. If suddenly they are able to turn things around and win the series 4-2, that's the question you ask about in the interview. But, I mean, I don't know. At this rate, it certainly looks like ReZero might be the ones to be there. They've gotten the first kill, but of course that's a lot less impressive than their macro play has been throughout this series.
And this is not the most standard talent build from Cassia, but lots of Korean players actually building into War Traveler and this Q from level 1. And seems like we'll see, maybe we'll see more of these kind of builds coming out in BlizzCon. We're yet to know what the meta is for Cassia right now.
Yeah.
But it seems like the Korean players are actually picking this up quite heavily.
So this is on the Ana patch with Ana disabled. And I think BlizzCon is on...
yeah, BlizzCon will be in Junkrat patch
right,
with Junkrat disabled. And that's confirmed.
So even still, things are changing.
Oh, but Ralik is tossed again, but she wants to do that. The shield come in, and even Polly was a little bit too late. And Cassia is doing maximum damage right now. Not even have to go back with that all that shield. The care, the cover from ReZero, it's just amazing. Raven, even with those healing and the shield, if Raven has the split focus, if they can have better teamwork, I think they can get the kill. Garrosh is actually making big plays. It's just the teamwork and the amount of players being at that moment. It's just not there right now.
The focus is just not enough to take down whoever gets tossed. I mean, like, you're very right. Lots of tosses onto Seron to throw him all the way back in the back and even make things really, really scary. But the focus just isn't there. And
that's also a thing for Raven. They rely a lot. They do have lots of skill damage also, but auto attack will do tons of damage from Marthael and also Greymane. But the blinds are the problem. The double blinds, once the first blind is worn off, the second blind will be coming in. Before that time, they will be missing so much damage that they could have done without the blind. So that's the reason why Rally can survive all that moment. But ReZero will take the first 10. And we do have Lightning Ball. The standard ones coming out from ReZero. Raven still yet to hit 10, so they have to back out. Seems like ReZero will have the back-to-back turn in here.
Yeah, Raven has been consistently behind on levels, and especially when you have breakpoints like this, going to make a lot of difference. Nice toss there, Young able to zone off, make this a little bit more annoying. Milky Way trying to stop these turn-ins, but going to be pushed back.
It is Emerald Wind, of course, from Chomu that he's taking, but there's not too much of a dive, I guess, from the other side. Maybe along, he wants to chain it with the toss from DeYoung. That would be an ideal way of having one picked off, just like in game 2, but that's an ideal way, and lots of if to go. Hamlin has 43 on himself, just cannot turn in all those gems at the moment.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. This is where he then dies and it's like the biggest failure, but no, he has not been able to turn them in just yet. They're waiting, just have not found the opportunity. It feels like ReZero are doing a good job kind of pushing Raven back over and over again, but they keep finding ways to get even just a single member in there to deny.
Let's see, I think Raven still has a pretty good chance of turning this around. Well, they do have Taunt, they do have burst damage from Greymane, and also sustaining from Marthael when he has a Tormented Soul will be a great tool for the supports to actually focus onto their back line when Marthael dives into the back line of ReZero. I think they will have the panic. They will have the panic button. Well known. Silence is a good tool to deny all that. They do have lots of... they actually got the turn in again.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. They were, of course, only like 7 away, so it was kind of likely, but it's easier said than done. They were able to do it, and so this is going to be lots and lots of Spider Queens for Raven to deal with.
Let's see. Another wave of Web Weavers coming in. Oh my. Raven is just losing their minds right now how to rotate to react against all these pushes.
Yeah, they really can't. I mean, they do have Malthael down on the bottom of the map, but it's this push coming up that is going to crack things through, and ReZero just continuing to hammer their advantage home.
So as long as ReZero just position themselves correctly, not too close to Garrosh, okay. Things happen in life, and and life is unfair. Okay, that happened.
I mean, life seems pretty unfair right now, G-Clev. ReZero just ahead in every single way. They're pushing through up top, down bottom, just everywhere you look. More and more of an advantage here for ReZero.
And yeah, even had to use Tormented Soul there to sustain himself, I guess. And we'll never know what happened there.
It's a mystery. That's another thing we can ask about in the interview.
Yeah, okay. If you ever get a chance to do their interview, I don't think we're going close, even getting close to their own interview, because we will basically if ReZero wins, there will be no Raven interview, you know. And they are just stomping over them with the macro, the map control. They have the wave clear. I thought Johanna was very given. Maybe instead of Garrosh ETC, could have let them really have the control over the rotation from the beginning, having those ganked attempts when Sonya will be dominating over the lanes, so try to dominate over Sonya. So, and they're being decisive. I like these kind of plays even from game 1. They went all the way to the boss. Even when there's an Emerald Wind onto the other side, Diong does spot this happening, but Martel also, Lucio is so far away. Look at the burst coming in. The silence is a big tool. Emerald Wind has to be used before the boss is taken. So boss is actually taken back. Never mind.
Wait.
And Raven does summon the Web Weavers in that time, being nicely done by Raven.
Yeah, so at least now they'll get the opportunity to kind of feel what it feels like. But oh man, Young, he scares me so much. Every time he goes in, sound barrier forced out early.
That's forced out early. And Hamlin, look at that Tormented swing. Just so much damage, but now look at that timing. Just perfectly done for his teammates there. No casualties. Even though how terribly that seemed for a second.
I mean, you're really seeing the difference in Stukov play there. We saw Raven try it out earlier, didn't work out very well. ReZero just showing exactly what it looks like to be used to maximum effectiveness.
Let's see, they do have Emerald Wind back in 8 seconds. And this push was not the biggest because the lane pressure was actually against Raven. So it's basically got the pressure off in on lanes. And it seems like ReZero actually wants to make an engage on the Brightwing. Let's use Ice Block. Critical moment. There's a great taunt. AoE damage comes in, but the blinds are so big. The silences are so crazy. And there goes 2. Even more, they are chasing down. Emerald Wind has to be used. Nice focusing onto Chom because they knew that Emerald Wind will basically counter the dive coming in. They were focusing onto Brightwing, forcing her to use the Ice Block. Just what a strategical play in that team fight.
It's just beautiful. They're doing everything right. Really, what can you do as Raven? You try to go in there and deal damage? No, you're blinded. Then you're blinded again. Then you're silenced as well. It's like, what are you supposed to do there? ReZero just perfect targeting onto the Brightwing in the beginning, and then keeping Raven from really just doing anything in this fight. They're the first one to hit these level 16 talents, and it's just going from bad to worse for Raven.
Oh my. And I'm amazed at how well and their shot calling, who to focus, when to focus. It's just amazing. But here comes Raven. They know there's... Look at the damage coming out from Sonya. It's crazy. Now nice sound barrier timing though. Here comes Tormented Soul, but blinded. Hamlin's just trying to sustain himself. Maybe it's not enough. Emerald Wind comes, but what does he have to sustain himself after the Tormented Souls? He is going down. He's getting very low. There's no burst heal coming in. He's sustaining, but not for long. Double support for the win here from ReZero. No, Animax is so low. Relic is chasing him. Another Q will basically take him out. That's another 2 dead. Wow.
And even Brightwing just barely able to teleport out there at the end. It's just, I mean, you look at the health bars too here from ReZero. They're not taking any damage. If they are, Stukov is just healing them all the way back up. And Raven, yeah, they got away with a couple of low health heroes, but they also lost 2 very crucially. Now ReZero is actually starting on their way to 18, and it's just not letting up the pressure.
Yeah, Garrosh overtime damage, Garrosh is very strong against it because he builds armor the lower health he is, but against all the burst damage that comes out from Sonya, even Garrosh is so weak, as you just saw.
He just never gets the chance.
He will get the chance, but by the time he gets the chance, he will be close to being dead. If you get 50 armor, you're dead. So, and I believe after one poison spear along with 1 auto attack, he was going down to like 25
he's
or 30,
way below half HP, so
30 armor on himself, so and they will get the boss right after. There's still a talent down. Raven I'm talking about, of course. Here comes the toss, but on to Johanna. I don't know if Johanna was
not the greatest target.
Yeah, but still, they have to make something. They have to do something at the moment, as they cannot do too much. The other lanes are already pushing Martials onto the other side. They just have to poke this one out, but Sonya's just walking in. Brightwing gets tons of damage. Cho maybe going down. Has to use the sound barrier for the defense. Oh my, they want to make this push happen to the core. I think they are going for the core. This may be game-ending moment.
I think they are going all the way. ReZero still has the boss pushing forward. Hamlin trying to go in there. Malthael sustaining through everything and actually able to get quite a bit of damage done.
But not too much because the blind that the silent was too big. Hamlin basically did nothing in that with the Tormented Soul. This is a wipe. This is going to be game. And this is going to be 3-0, guys. Not best of 5, best of 7. So ReZero still has to take one more game to beat the series. But what a crazy set of games we have today, man. 3-0 already.
I mean, the memes write themselves. 3-0 for ReZero. It sounds great and it feels great for ReZero, the Open League team coming in here and about to qualify for HGC Korea.
And hey, Malthael was nerfed this patch, and from 2.25 to 2%, was still pretty strong, but against all the double blinds and the silence when the Tormented Soul was there, just great plays coming out from the Open Division team. ReZero, I think they really deserve to stay, well, not stay, go up to HGC if they just take this 4-0. Ravens having a big trouble right now.
I mean, winners did it yesterday. ReZero poised to do it again. We'll see what they choose as their fourth map. Which team gets to choose the final maps? Because Raven chose first, right? So
yeah, the losing team gets to choose. Losing team gets to choose either the first ban or the battleground, and compared to battleground, the first ban often takes advantage in the draft. So that's what they do, and it is going to be okay. Raven first picking again, and we're going into game number 4. Battlefield of your favorite one, Battlefield of Eternity. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is where things were decided yesterday, so it's kind of poignant that it be the final map of today as well. I mean, it's going to be Eternity kind of for Raven. If they get knocked out here, they have to hang on. This could be our final map of the night. This is going to be a fast night, G-Club.
I very believe so, and it may actually be a 4-0 happening once more. And I saw not every single matches of the Crucible for the other regions, but other regions in NA and EU, they were tough. They were tough games, and it was close. I wouldn't say it was as stompy as the Korean ones, but man, day 1 and day 2 seems like we're continuing this pattern here as Open Division teams are just dominating over the HGC teams. And I would actually love to see these teams in HGC, how they can compete against the other teams in HGC. Seems like we'll have an exciting year of 2018 phase number 1 incoming if they go up. And Raven seems like, oh, let's be realistic. I think it's going to be very, very